Hello, everybody. Really sorry I can't be with you there today. I'm traveling, I'm afraid, but my name is Steve Joordens. I'm a professor at University of Toronto and also on Coursera.org, where I teach a so-called massive open online course. One of these courses that's free for anybody to take. And so far, there's about 200,000 global students that have taken the course. So that's very cool. Am I a polymath? I never actually even thought of that question until I got an invite to speak to you today. I certainly, in addition to teaching, I am an entrepreneur of educational technologies. I am the lead guitarist and lead singer in a band called the Freakin' Lolas. And generally I just have wide interests, and it's very easy for me to get interested in something and start to kind of pursue it. I never really thought of this as polymath. I thought of it more as I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up. 53 now, it's got to happen at some point, right? Carlos invited me just to come and talk to you a little bit from an educational perspective about, well, I want to frame it this way. When we think of someone like Leonardo da Vinci, we think of somebody who had wide-ranging interest and whose mind could be grabbed by almost anything, and again, whose mind liked to work and think about things and be critical, find flaws, be creative, come up with new ways of doing things. And of course, for Leonardo, that creativity, gave rise to artistry of all sorts of forms, from basic sort of engineering design to art in its most sort of abstract sense. So he clearly had all this creativity. So how does that fit with an education? If Leonardo was in our education system today, how would that work? I think from the traditional, or at least the way education has been up till just more recently, it would be very difficult. I think someone like Leonardo would find the system very constrained, constrained by the curriculum, constrained by the issues he was asked to think about, and also constrained by the depth at which he was asked to think about things. In a world where resources are slim and it's hard to grade pieces, often you don't want students to get too deep. You want them to tell you the four aspects of whatever. I'm here to tell you that I think this is changing, that the education system is becoming more aware of the importance of what we might call cognitive skills. They are sometimes called transferable skills, 21st century skills, future work skills, whatever. We understand that part of our education now has to involve teaching students, not so much teaching them, a little bit, but at least giving them a lot of experience thinking critically, thinking creatively, expressing themselves, communicating in a variety of different ways, written, oral, but also, yes, through art and through other means of communication. And we're starting to find ways that we can do this in our school system. These things are tricky because they're skills. And information you can impart quite easily. You can tell somebody about something quickly. So if you wanted to learn about karate, I could tell you a lot about karate in a short period of time. But if I want to teach you how to do karate, it's a different process. Skill learning takes time. It takes repeated, structured practice. So how do we allow students to be creative, to be critical, and get that practice? And how do we deal with the need to give them feedback in that situation? For my part, the answer comes largely through what we call peer assessment. So I've created a technology called Peer Scholar, and the idea is pretty simple. You now ask, you can give students very open-ended questions. Consider our current approach to, I don't know, recycling. Learn a little bit about it, and now try to propose a better approach. What could we do better, let's say? So we can give students a very open-ended question like this. They submit their reply, and then the really kind of cool thing happens. They get to see some of the replies of their fellow students. And in this technology, these replies are presented anonymously, they're selected randomly, and the task of the student is to give each of their peers constructive feedback. So now we have the students giving each other the kind of feedback they need to develop these skills. And as they do so, they become quite good at doing that, at giving feedback. So they're also learning how to give feedback. They're learning how to learn from feedback. And through this sort of approach, this is one example of an approach where I think the modern education system is becoming less constrained and would be, well, at least a little more kinder and gentler to Leonardo should he find himself in one of our, say, grade 8 classes here. At any rate, I wish I could speak to more, but maybe next time in the next major celebration of Leonardo. I would love to meet any of you. If you have any questions, if anything I said interests you, please feel free to reach out to me. I am steve.jordens@utoronto.ca. Thank you. Have a great conference, everybody. Bye-bye.